Hello everyone, now we can start our new chapter, that is chapter number 3, compressibility. So you can see I have written something about the compressibility. So let me introduce the compressibility chapter number 3 here. This chapter will be having two big topics. First will be compaction and the second will be consolidation. See, first we should understand what is the basic meaning of compressibility, then we can discuss about those two things. Compressibility means the suppose I can say I have one material. This is suppose one material. If I applied the load, can I compress this? No. For the given loads I cannot compress this. This material is not compressible. It is a highly rigid material. Okay. But if I take soil, there are a number of voids. The voids may be filled with air, the voids may be filled with water. Can I compress the soil? Of course, because there is a water, there is a air. If I compress, then the volume of soil will reduce. So soil is compressible. So compressibility is basically the property of the material. If we apply the load, the volume of material will reduce. The depth of material can reduce. So that is called compressibility. Now, how the compressibility is possible in the case of geotechnical engineering, in the case of soil. So what happens, suppose we have soil, the soil exists with the voids always. Without voids, soil is not possible. So soils are always there, always. So if the voids are there in the soil, the voids can be removed, not completely. Voids can be removed means if suppose the voids are filled with air, if I apply the load on the soil, the process is called compaction. I am removing the air from the soil. I am reducing the volume of soil. The process we call compaction. If we are removing the air from the soil, the process is called compaction. Now, if I talk about, suppose the soil is filled with, means all the voids of the soils are filled with water, then what will happen? You apply the load, and if you are suppose you are removing the water from the soil, the process we call consolidation. So in compaction we are going to remove the air from the soil, and in the consolidation we are going to remove the water from the soil. So these two pictures are clear to me. Compressibility means it is the property of the material. If we apply the load, the material volume will reduce. That is called compressibility. The compressibility may occur because of air, because of water. If soil is compressible because of air, means if we are reducing the volume of soil and the air we are removing, the process we call compaction. If water is present in the soil and we are applying the load and water we are removing from the soil, the process will call consolidation. Now the question comes, which process is possible? So I will tell you, compaction is possible before the construction of the building. Sometimes consolidation is also possible, some techniques are there in the market, but what I suggest, before the construction of any structure, any building, compaction is possible, and we do the compaction of the soil. What happens if we apply the load? The air is present suppose in the soil. What happens? Suppose I say I have one soil sample, something like this. Some voids are filled with air, some voids are filled with air, and let me tell you, some voids are filled with water. Then what will happen? If I apply the load, water will not remove. First air will remove. So how to apply the load? There are some hammers, there are some weights. You just drop the weight on the soil, automatically the volume will reduce, air will come out. So when the air comes out, the process is called compaction. Now this air is not present, suppose here also air is not present, Now only few voids we have, and all the voids are suppose filled with water. Earlier air was present before compaction, so the degree of saturation was less than 1. in the soil, but when I apply the load and I remove the air from the soil, now only water is present in the soil, all the voids are filled with water, so I can say the degree of saturation has become 1 now. So when you perform the compaction, the degree of saturation will be less than 1, and when you perform the consolidation, that time the degree of saturation is exactly equal to 1. Clear? Now why we can perform compaction before the construction of building? So before the construction of building we can perform the compaction, not consolidation in most of the cases. Why? Because compaction is an instantaneous process. You just apply the load on the soil, the air will remove immediately. The process will call compaction, and it is an instantaneous process. At the time t equal to 0, that time only your compaction will be performed. But if I talk about consolidation, that's why if it's an instantaneous process, immediately results we get, that's why we can perform before the construction of building. But if I talk about consolidation, so in the case of consolidation, we have to remove the water, and removing the water from the soil is a time taking process. It depends upon the permeability of the soil also. It depends upon the permeability of the soil also. If the soil is having the less permeability, I mean to say if the soil is suppose fine grain soil, the permeability is very less, it takes a lot of time to remove the water from the soil, because water has to come out, it has to flow through the soil. So it's a time taking process. It may take 1 year, it may take 2 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 50 years, or maybe 100 years it can take. So if I am going to construct one building, suppose the consolidation is taking 10 years, will I wait for 10 years? Suppose I purchase one plot and I am going to construct one building, will I wait for 100 years? Because after 100 years consolidation will happen, complete water can be removed. Will I wait? No, I will not wait. I will perform the compaction, I will not wait for consolidation. Consolidation is a natural process, compaction I can perform. How the water will be removing naturally, that we can discuss. So what happens, suppose I have purchased one plot, I am going to construct one building. So before construction I have compacted my soil, I have applied load everywhere, at each and every corner, at every edge, at every location of my plot. I have compacted the soil with some hammer, with some weight. I lift the weight, I drop the weight, I lift the weight, I drop the weight everywhere on the plot. So the soil is well compacted, all the voids which are filled with air are broken and the air has been removed. Now in your soil only water is present because the air you have removed. I am talking about ideal conditions. Water is present, air, complete air you have removed. So I can say in your soil, in your plot, the degree of saturation of your soil is 1, because when you purchase the new plot, the degree of saturation was less than 1, because in your plot air was present, water was present, but you have removed the air. Now only water is present, means the degree of saturation is 1. Now the process we can perform, the known as consolidation. But I analyzed the consolidation will take some 10 years. I have estimated the time. We can estimate, how to estimate that we can discuss later. In the coming time we will discuss. So if I talk about the calculation part, I have performed the calculation part and I have seen minimum 10 years required to remove the water from this particular location, from this particular plot, from this particular soil. I cannot wait for 10 years. I started my construction. Just after the compaction, I started my construction work. Now building has been prepared, everything is ready. Now the consolidation process will start. How? Because of the weight of the structure. Now you have kept one big structure, you have kept one big building on the soil, on your plot. So because of the weight of this building, Now the consolidation process will start, and when the consolidation process will start, it may take 1 year, 2 year, 10 year, 100 years. Slowly water will be dissipated, it can be drained out. So after 100 years, if we talk about, so whatever the pore water pressure develops, whatever the excess amount of water was present, that can be removed from the soil, the process we call consolidation. So the water can be removed from the soil, the process we call consolidation. Your volume of soil is reducing with the time. Your volume of soil is reducing with the soil because of the self weight of your building. Clear? The process we call consolidation. Now the question comes, sir, we understand compaction can be performed before the construction of building, consolidation can be performed after the construction of building, because compaction is an instantaneous process, immediately we get the results, but consolidation is a time dependent process, it takes a lot of time. So we cannot wait for long period for construction of building. So immediately we construct the building, and naturally because of self weight of a structure, consolidation process will be happening with the time, no problem. Till now, sir, it is clear to me. Now I am asking, sir, if I do not perform the consolidation, if I do not perform the compaction before the construction of any structure, then sir, what will happen? Suppose I have purchased one plot, and before without compaction I am constructing one building, that's it. Sir, what will happen? Is there any necessity to perform the compaction? If consolidation can happen because of self weight of building, in the same process, in the same pattern, in the same style, compaction can also perform because of self weight of the building. So I will suggest yes, because of self weight of the building, compaction is also possible. There is a plot, you don't compact your soil at your plot, you directly start your construction work, you prepare your building. Because of self weight of the building, what will happen? Compaction will happen first, then consolidation happens. Means both the process can happen after the construction. But what will happen? You just think something. If the soil is highly compressible, means number of voids are there, some voids are filled with air, some voids are filled with water. So what will happen if you don't compact your soil before the construction of any structure, directly you are constructing the building on the plot, then what will happen? Because of self weight of the building, suppose this is the building, this is the height of building, and I kept this building on any plot, on any soil. So because of the weight of this building, what will happen? Compaction process will happen. So the building gets settled. If there is a reduction in the volume of soil, because of self weight of soil, volume of soil is reducing. Because of self weight of the structure, volume of soil is reducing, and on the soil I kept my footing. This is the footing, and on this footing structure is present. This is the footing, and on this footing structure is present, and below the base of footing we have soil. If soil is getting settled, then the footing will get settled. Okay. So what will happen, sir, if the footing is getting settlement? You understand the meaning. If there is a uniform settlement, this is the footing, if there is a uniform settlement of your footing everywhere on the plot, then okay, no big issue will happen, no big collapse will happen, no big failure will happen. But if suppose there is no uniform settlement, there is a differential settlement, something like this, means at the one edge of your footing there is a large settlement, and at the another edge of the footing there is a small settlement. In that case, what will happen? Your footing will be subjected to column, you will be subjected to moment, your column will be subjected to moment, your entire building will be subjected to the moment, and the moment will cause your building to rotate. Your entire structure will get overturned and the building will collapse because of differential settlement. So I do not want settlement of my footing, dear. I do not want. If I do not want settlement of my footing, then before the construction only whatever settlement is possible you performed, means you perform your compaction process, so that when I construct the building, the settlement can occur only because of consolidation. See, total settlement, if I talk about total settlement, it can occur because of compaction, plus it can occur settlement due to consolidation. Suppose this is occurring 10 mm, this is occurring suppose 5 mm, total is 15 mm. So before the construction, if you compact your soil, then this 10 mm will not occur. Your building will not, your footing will not be subjected to this 10 mm. Your footing will be subjected to only 5 mm if you perform the compaction before the construction. But if you do not perform the compaction, you purchase one plot and directly you construct your building, then your footing will be subjected to first compaction of 10 mm settlement, then your footing will be subjected to consolidation of 5 mm. So your footing will be subjected to total 15 mm. This is a random value, but it's subjected to large settlement because of compaction also, because of consolidation also. Then footing may fail, your structure may collapse. So what I do, I want to reduce the settlement. That's why I perform the compaction before the construction of the building, so that my building is not subjected to the settlement because of compaction. It is subjected to the settlement only because of consolidation. Clear? So this is the process of compressibility. That's why I always suggest people to compact their plot, compact their soil before the construction. Even though if you notice any plot, it is well compacted. There is no loose soil at your plot, if generally if I talk about. But then also I suggest before the construction, you people should compact your soil, because when I visit a plot, I see the compaction of the plot, and I notice if I apply the load, definitely some settlement will occur, even though the soil is very stiff. Then also some amount of compaction will happen, some amount of settlement will happen. So ultimately till now what we have discussed, what is compressibility, what is compaction, what is consolidation. So these three things we have discussed. This compressibility of the soil means the volume reduction can occur because of compaction, because of consolidation. Now the definition of compaction I have mentioned here, you please note down. It is an instantaneous process of reducing the volume of voids due to the expulsion of pore air. Pore air means the air present in the pores. That time the degree of saturation will be less than 1, because air is present. If the air is present, degree of saturation of course will be less than 1. Now if I talk about consolidation, the consolidation may occur in two stages. First is called primary consolidation, and this one is secondary consolidation. If I talk about primary consolidation, the process which we have explained about the expulsion of water, that is called primary consolidation. Till now whatever we have discussed about the consolidation, that is primary consolidation. We are removing the water from the soil. So it is a time dependent phenomena of reducing the volume of soil due to expulsion of pore water. Okay, and here the degree of saturation is less than degree of saturation is equal to 1 throughout the test. We will discuss about this later. So you should understand, here we are removing the water, here we are removing the air in the same soil. So air, once the compaction is completed, complete air is removed. Of course all the voids are filled with water. Now if all the voids are filled with water, because the air is not present, it has been removed in the compaction process, so degree of saturation will be 1 in the primary consolidation process. It is a time dependent, it is an instantaneous process. One question you people should ask me, sir, is there possibility of occurring consolidation first and then compaction later? No. First compaction will occur because it is an instantaneous process. After this your primary consolidation will occur. Clear? So there is a this I have mentioned in a proper order. First compaction will occur, then primary consolidation will occur, then secondary consolidation will occur. So compaction is clear to me, primary consolidation is clear to me. We can talk about secondary consolidation. Secondary consolidation means it is also time dependent process. It occurs, this secondary consolidation occurs after the primary consolidation. Already we have reduced the volume of soil. See, initially volume of soil was this much. You applied load before the construction and the volume of soil is reduced up to here. Initially it was here, now it is reduced up to here. Now you have constructed one building above this, okay, and then what will happen, because of self-weight of building, consolidation will occur in next 10 years, 5 years or maybe 100 years. Again some volume of soil is reducing, this much is the final volume of my soil. After the completion of primary consolidation, maybe after 10 years, secondary consolidation will occur, means some more reduction in the volume of soil will occur. Some more reduction in the volume of soil will occur after the completion of primary consolidation, the process we called secondary consolidation. Clear? This secondary consolidation, in this secondary consolidation what happens? Here you remove the air, here you remove the water, then what are you going to remove here in secondary consolidation? So actually in secondary consolidation what happens, under the constant loading your soil solids gets reoriented. Once air was present, that has been removed, some settlement occurs. Water was present, it is removed, some settlement of solids will occur. So there is a plastic readjustment of soil solids under the constant loading of a big structure, and highly viscous water is removed in secondary consolidation, which was not removed in primary consolidation. In primary consolidation we can remove the pore water which is present in the pores, but in the secondary consolidation highly viscous water which can be present at the contact of soil solids. You know, due to the contact of soil solids we have some amount of water in the soil. So that highly viscous water can be removed in secondary consolidation, and there is a plastic readjustment. Soil solids get readjusted. So because of that some very less amount of settlement occur, that process we call secondary consolidation. Clear? So these are the 3 stages of compressibility of the soil. Clear? First compaction will occur, second primary consolidation will occur, and then secondary consolidation will occur. Now I want to write the process of compressibility which we have discussed. So you please note down with me. Okay. Now here I can write the process of compressibility, the process of compressibility. Okay. So in the process of compressibility, the first process is, suppose there is a soil and I am applying one load. There is a soil, I am applying one load, then what will happen? Compression of air will happen. Compression of air. Now air will be compressed, air will remove. So when air is removed, the process we call expulsion of air. Expulsion of air means air is removed. So this process, these two stages is called compaction. So first the compaction is done. Okay, compaction is done. Now the next step in the soil will be, you continue your loading on the system, then next term Next term comes for the water. So I will write compression of water will happen. Under the loading, compression of water will happen. Okay, compression of water will happen, and once the water is compressed, it will be removed. So I can write expulsion of water. Expulsion of water. Okay, but one thing people should understand, water is incompressible, so water will not compress, so we can ignore the third stage. You apply your load because of self-weight of the building, as I am explaining about the primary consolidation. Because of self-weight of the building after the construction, naturally water gets removed under the weight of structure. The process we call primary consolidation. So water is not compressed because it is incompressible. Directly it is removed. You apply the load on the soil. If the soil is having water, water will directly remove. The water will not compress because water is incompressible. So I can write compression of water can be ignored. Compression of water shall be ignored. Why? Because it is incompressible. Okay, it is incompressible. So these two stages is known as primary consolidation. So these two stages is known as primary consolidation. Okay, primary consolidation. Now the next is expulsion of water. What is the meaning of expulsion of water? Expulsion of water means this is the complete process of happening primary consolidation. Now the next is plastic readjustment. Okay, plastic readjustment. Okay, plastic readjustment of soil solids and highly viscous water is forced out or is forced, okay, is forced to drained out. Okay, so this process is the secondary consolidation. So this fifth stage occurs after this primary consolidation, and this process, you know, we called secondary consolidation. Secondary consolidation. Okay, so here you should understand, in these stages your compressibility will occur. Your soil volume was initially like this, after secondary consolidation it will be like this, very less. Now first thing people should understand, these two stages occur immediately. This stage 3 and 4 will take lot of time. Primary consolidation is time dependent, lot of time. So since it is taking lot of time, this time is called hydrodynamic lag. Hydrodynamic lag time. We can discuss, no problem. In the coming time, we will be discussing about this. Hydrodynamic lag. Infinite time it can take. Infinite time. Then after this, secondary consolidation may occur. It is also a time dependent process. Clear? So in this lecture till now we have discussed only about the compressibility. Basic introduction I have given about the compressibility, basic idea I have given about the compaction, basic idea about the primary consolidation, secondary consolidation we have given. Now so new people will think I should teach. See, actually I should teach first about the compaction, then I should teach about the consolidation. But because in this order only compressibility will occur in the soil, but because of my interest I will be dealing consolidation first, and then after consolidation I will be dealing compaction. But naturally which process occur first? compaction occur first, then consolidation will occur. But only because of my area of interest, I am teaching consolidation first, then I will discuss the compaction. So in the next lecture, we can have the discussion for consolidation. Clear? Thank you.